Pakistan's education system has a long and complex history intervened by political, social, and economic development. In the recent political outburst where Imran Khan got arrested, the British Council decided to cancel the Cambridge International Examinations on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of May. The British Council Country Director Amir Ramzan and Country Director with Cambridge International Examination Uzma Yusuf expressed their support for candidates and parents during this difficult time. And I quote, "We know this is a crucial time in your academic journey and this disruption caused by current situation is not ideal. We want to assure that we are doing everything we can to ensure that Cambridge students continue their education journey without any interruption." The article was published by Rana Javed on May 12. Here are some key milestones focusing more on the history of Pakistan's education.
Before the partition of Pakistan India in 1947, the education system in what is now Pakistan was primarily run by the British colonial government. The emphasis is on producing a class of civil servants to administer the colony. There were some major schools for the light, but the majority of the people has a little access of formal education.
Post-partition era 1947 to 1958. After Pakistan's independence in 1947, Pakistan had a poorly developed education system which was inherited by British colonialism. The government took steps to expand the access of education to people by building new schools and new universities. However, the expansion was slow due to limited resources.
Ayub Khan's era. It's from 1958 to 1969. During the era of President Ayub Khan, the government launched a series of educational reforms aimed at modernizing and expanding the system. The focus was on science, technology, and new universities. The technical institutions were established. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's era, it's from 1970 to 1977. During the Bhutto's era, the government implemented significant reforms aimed at reducing inequality and increase access to education. One of the most notable reform was the nationalization of all private schools and universities, which brought them under government control. This move was controversial and lead to the decline in the quality of education in many institutions.
General Zia-ul-Haq era 1977 to 1988. During the time of General Zia, the government focused on expanding Islamic education. Many new madrasas were established and the curriculum was revised to include more religious studies.
Post Zia-ul-Haq era. It's from 1988 to 1999. After the death of General Zia-ul-Haq, the government shifted its focus to modernizing the education system, promoting technical and vocational education. This private sector was encouraged to play a larger role in education, leading to the establishment of many private sectors and universities. We further move on the topic of why history education is important in Pakistan. National identity. Studying history helps students to develop a sense of national identity and understand their country's culture, traditions, values. In Pakistan, history education play a very important role in shaping national identity and fostering a sense of patriotism.
Understanding the political systems. By knowing the history, the students can understand the political system of Pakistan and also the challenges the country has had to face in the past. This can help prepare students to become more responsible students who are aware of their political processes, and also they can get involved in the democratic system.
Promotion of critical thinking. History education encourages critical thinking and analysis skills, which are important for success in many fields. Students learn to evaluate evidence, analyze different perspectives, and draw conclusions based on historical fact. So, what is lacking in Pakistan's education? The literacy rate in Pakistan in 2021 was only 62.8%. Any gains in literacy rate over the last many years have been small, slow, and marginal. In Pakistan, the current literacy rate is 62.3%. And budget 1.7% of GDP has been allocated as education budget, which is lowest in its region.
In 2021 to 2022, we spent only 1.77% of our GDP on education-related expenditure. The minimum requirement set by the UN is at 4%, and the latest we have spent in recently is in 2017-2018 which is 2.12% on education related expenditure. And the reason always put forth behind the lack of expenditure on education is, till now and always has been, lack of resources.
According to the data from the World Economic Forum Global Competitiveness Report 2017 to 2018, the Global Competitiveness Index (GCI) we commonly call shows Pakistan's low performance, being ranked 129th of the 137 countries. On the health and primary education related element of competitiveness when compared with other countries in the region like India, China, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Malaysia.
According to UNESCO, there are 60,000 Pakistani students studying abroad. Of that, 7,475 students are studying in the US. Though this is a 5.8% decline compared to last year, there are countries that have faced double-digit declines in the number of Pakistani students. Pakistan is ranked number 18 according to the ranking of international students in the United States. The United States being the second most preferred country to study at, with a number of Pakistani students are Illinois, New York, Massachusetts and California. So what are the main reasons behind students not opting for education in Pakistan or Pakistan not progressing in education? Let's have a look. Number 1. Lack of uniformity. The education system in Pakistan is not uniform and is based on differentiated education systems such as the public institutions, private institutions and Dini madrasas. Waves of sectarianism and terrorism are the consequences of this divided system. The polarized education system has divided the society in political, social and economic grounds. This division is leading towards further segregation on religious levels and cutting deep the ideological foundation of the nation.
Outdated curriculums. We are still following the old-fashioned and outdated education system of rote memorization, cramming the fact and figure without realizing the historic development of individuals.
Alarming dropouts. Lack of management and discipline has led to students dropping out from schools. Other reasons behind students dropping out from schools are lack of motivation, poor parenting, unattractive school environments, and punishment in schools. Child labor and poverty are also the two very significant reasons behind students dropping out from schools. 30% of the children in Pakistan are enrolled in primary education. Hence, this is the reason behind the low literacy rate in Pakistan.
Education system, our poor education system. Students are evaluated on the basis of annual exam, semester-wise assessment. Both quantitative and qualitative exams should be introduced to judge the performance of a student on comprehensive level, and exams should evaluate the student's ability through various type of reliable assessments like case studies, research paper, MCQs, comprehensive subjective questions, analytical questions to check the conceptual understanding of students, especially in higher classes.
In Pakistan, the education system is faulty. It only tests the memory of the students. The students use unfair means, for example, bribery, issuance of duplicate mark sheets, change of marks, and many more. It has badly failed in producing students who can think critically, have analytical skills, and have visionary reflection. Modular system of examination in medical universities has led to doctors being incompetent and lacking knowledge of their subject. Students prepare for easy subjects and leave the hard exam of anatomy for choice. Doctors produced with such type of examinations lack sufficient knowledge, are not serving humanity honestly, and do not do justice to their profession.
Some of the teachers are also involved in malpractices. They leak the paper by charging a handsome amount or solve the papers for students, or allow students to solve the paper by cheating from books, material, or from good things. Student, which is very prevalent in this metric, under or inter. In board exams, before submission of sheet to the board office, representative students is asked to write down correct answer. Teachers are themselves involved in such political activities and award F grade to students which are not in their party.
Politics in education. In our educational system, educational institutes are used as breeding grounds for political parties. In colleges and universities, these groups nurture. Students get benefits from being in a political party during examinations.
There are many schools which are far away from some of the villages, and there are no means of transportation, and children have to walk on foot to reach the school miles away from their homes, which is not possible for girls students to do, as a parents do not want to spend their girls unattended and do not accompany them, since they have to work to meet their both ends.
And lastly, corruption. A clear example of corruption was during COVID-19 when lockdown was due and students were not going to the schools on campus and online classes were also not being practiced. However, parents had to pay the full fee and had to listen to the management in order to keep their child's admission locked and secure. In conclusion, we not only get education for economic reasons but to solve issues such as social, political, and psychological issues, and many other issues as well. Education turns a raw human being into a polished human being, and that human being becomes the capital of the country. With education, many countries are ruling the world. And in Pakistan, the students are directionless and uncertain about their future. Therefore, they're leaving the country and settling in developed countries.
The traditional teaching is giving theoretical knowledge to students, but practical learning is missing. Education reform are the only solution to change the existing education system. So, following recommendations are suggestions for the policy makers, thinkers, researchers, educations, and common people. Hope it will